Alright, this being a 14S 48 volt 15 amp hour battery pack, our voltage limits would be, our low voltage should be no less than 42 volts. That's right around 3 volts per cell. Our nominal would be 51.8 volts, and our high voltage at 4.15 volts per cell would be about 58.1. So that's our targets. I've got our blue 14S 48 volt 15 amp hour lithium battery pack made out of Chevy Volt cells mounted up on the bike. And let's see here, the circuit breaker on. It's just temporarily mounted with ratchet strap, but we got 56.68 volts in this battery pack. I'm going to do a little discharge test and see how it does. Probably going to get on this one just a little bit more than I did the white one, just as a bit of a different test. And also, our mileage is at 611.9. So I'm going to keep track of time, voltage, watt hours, and the mileage. For a little bit more info, we turn the bike on, headlights on, and it still doesn't show much of a draw, and that's just with the DC to DC converter turning on the 12 volt accessories. Now we'll switch it on. We switch to green. Now it's showing a 21.4 watt and drawing 0.38 amps, and we're at 56.56 volts. Well, mechanical failure. Thing quit. What the hell? What about this little fuse? Yep, I think we popped our little 40 amp fuse. Damn it. Fucking fuses. Well, it didn't like our 40 amp fuse. Got a fresh one in here just to try to continue our test. Just have to be a little bit more mellow on it now. Alright, we're up to 50 watt hours used. Meter showing 55.16 volts in the battery pack. The odometer is up to 612.7. Everything's looking good so far. Well, we're now up to 100 watt hours used. Battery pack's at 54.26 volts. Our mileage is at 613.6, I'd say. All still looks okay. We're up to 207 watt hours used. Battery pack's showing it still has 52.6 volts in it, and our mileage is up to 615.3. Everything still seems okay. Alrighty, we've got it up to the 301 watt hours used mark. Battery pack showing 51.25 volts. And we've used, or went up to 616.9. Everything still seems to be okay. We got us a little ways to go down to our 44 goal. So, yeah. Now up to 350 watt hours used. Battery pack showing about 50.25 volts. And the odometer is up to 617.8. Got a little over 400 watt hours used out of our blue battery pack, and yeah, a meter showing 49.38 volts. And well, our blue 14S 48 volt 15 amp hour battery pack seems to be doing pretty good. We got it up to 482 watt hours used, and it has recovered to 44.96 volts, but our target was 44 volts, and I was still about 6 blocks away when it dropped all the way down to 42 volts. So I decided to shut it down and went ahead and pushed it back the last 5 or 6 blocks. But since then it went from 42 volts all the way back up to the where it's at now, 44.98 volts in probably about 15-20 minutes. And our mileage is 620.04. I think we started at 611, so we went about 9 miles. Kind of just putting around, but on our blue 15 amp hour battery pack. Alright, well, we'll conclude this test for now and get some numbers and evaluate, but I think this was a pretty successful test. More to come. It's a quick final recap. Got the battery out of the bike sitting off to the side. I've still got it connected, just to, I've been monitoring it, and like I said, when it got all the way down to 42 volts and I shut it down because 44 was our target goal. And then 15 minutes later, let's see what my notes here say, the battery pack had recovered from 42 volts up to 44.54 volts. And then about 15 minutes after that it was up to 45.35. That was about 4:30, and then about a half hour later, now it's 5 o'clock, and the battery pack is at 45.88. Or even now it's moved up to 45.90. So that's another interesting find, is it's not only just staying stable, it seems to be recovering. Okay, I'll monitor it from here and we'll go from there. More to come.